This is Dr. Raj, your friendly Beverly Hills orthopedic surgeon, host of the Weekend Warriors Show, who treats sports injuries and joint pain. I'm here to protect you from yourself and keep you out of the operating room with my co-host, Jani Moon. Hey, Jani, are you on right now?
Hello. Happy Monday.
Yeah, it is Monday. You got that right.
I know. I'm feeling it.
Okay. I know you're feeling it because I can hear it in your voice. But I've got something to solve your weekend issues. I've got a close friend online, and he is a wellness manager, superstar, and came into my life 8-9 months ago. And this guy is deeper than what you can imagine. He looked at me and he said, we need to correct this, and this in the span of a few days. I took a few of the suggestions right off bat, and he was absolutely right. His name's Paul Lebitz, and hey, Paul, are you on board?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning, Dr. Raj. Good morning, Jani.
Hi, Paul. Such a pleasure to have you here to learn all about your stress techniques.
Thank you very much.
Paul's big into stress, dealing with stress. And, in fact, he's got a stress group for men, too, which is actually novel. I think men need it. Tell us about it, Paul. Tell us about your journey and your venture and how you got to where you're at now.
Well, Dr. Raj, I look at everything as stress or balance. Stress can be something that's a good, positive thing in your life, like a call into action, a challenge that you rise to. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your family commitments. Maybe it's even the way that you exercise, the way what you choose to exercise. And then stress can be something that, when not in balance and not in check, can be detrimental. And then it can manifest in your physical body. So if you can imagine that you've got a weight of bills, you've got the weight of challenges with relationships, your career, you're not happy, all these things sort of bouncing around in your head. And then consequently, your body starts to experience the consequences of all these challenges, all this load that's sitting on your shoulders, and it can manifest. This is something you're absolutely aware of with what you do, is back and neck pain. That's a big one. Insomnia is another one. Poor digestion, something that people don't talk about, but that really can mess with your digestion. Obesity, that's one of the ways we eat to, in some way, shape, or form, to balance out the stress. So that these stress factors manifest physically. So I've come to realize that the reason why, as a society, in the West particularly, that we're unhealthy is because we're out of balance with that stress. Now, that poses a big question, and I start to look at most illnesses or problems that we have as being out of balance with stress. Now, what can we do about that? We can bring balance into our lives, and how does that look? Well, it's something different for every single individual.
So, Paul, question. So, first of all, I love your accent. How
Thank you.
How sexy
She never says that about my accent, Paul. Why?
Hey. Well, first, my last
you don't like that old
Australian.
Canadian accent? Come on.
Dr. Raj, you are Superman. We've already decided that. But Paul, my question to you is, what have you personally gone through? You know, what was your kind of
that was a big tipping point for me. I had a career. My first career was in pharmaceuticals. I was a manufacturing chemist for a big multinational company, and then I discovered the world of personal training and health and fitness. I always loved sport. I played Australian football back in Australia. And then I started on a career as a personal trainer. I moved to London from Australia, and I started working with all these people that had a lot of stress in their lives. And coming from a sleepy little town, Perth, in Western Australia, I never really experienced extreme amounts of stress until I had my own stress crisis. And once that had happened, I really connected with what stress can do. I put on 20 pounds. A big chunk of my hair fell out. I suffered from alopecia. I was suffering from insomnia and anxiety. And it was all to do with different sort of a collision of life and it all happened in one sort of moment. And then post that, what I did is I turned all those things that I was doing with my clients on myself. I had a re-evaluation of my own life and my authentic sort of self and what works best for me, so that connection with myself. And then I reconnected with community, because that's a big thing, is community, is to be able to speak with people, especially guys who want to go into our cave and solve all our problems by ourselves.
We
the
do.
fact that we're tribal creatures, guys. So if we share our stories with our fellow guys, fellow tribe members, then it just lightens the load and gives us a way out. Unfortunately, guys, we're not as good as women as dealing with stress. You can go and have a glass of wine or a cup of tea with your girlfriend and have a spa day and talk about it and really sort of let everything out, and then sort of move.
So will you do an example with Dr. Raj, what you do in your men's group? Because I host a women's group. We call it a goddess circle, and I'm curious, what would you tell us, Dr. Raj? Do you mind?
No, I have no problem. So we're in a god circle now, right?
So as guys, what we would do is we would go out in a pack and we'd hunt together. We'd have an experience together, and then after that, we'd sit around the fire and have that campfire time and just talk about the day's hunt and everything that happened, and that would lead to sort of conversations about life. And the elders of the tribe would tell their stories, and the younger members of the tribe would listen and be able to relate to that. So with guys, we relate through experience, and we have to have that sort of that bonding experience first. Fortunately, I've got a great relationship with Dr. Raj, and it's all about sort of bringing sort of balance. But, you know, the biggest thing is if you have a problem or a worry or concern, then if you have a solution to that, then we can kind of cut down that time spent on doting over that problem or for us to be going over scenarios in our head at 3 or 4 in the morning. So if you have a solution, then there's no problem, and we can spend less time worrying about that problem and more focused on taking steps to move through that. And then if the problem has no solution, then worry's not going to do a lot of good either, is it?
So I like your way of breaking it down, like some event, like a hike, because you're absolutely right, because we're all on guard right now, especially in cities like Los Angeles or New York, where things are going on. But just the hike alone just takes you into a different element, being outside and then talking afterwards. You know, that never happened to me. I'm always like, after I'm done, I'm always revved up. Where do I have to go to next? What do I have to do? So
that's another challenge we face as a modern-day society, is that idea that more is better. We're always challenging ourselves and pushing to cover the bills, to put our kids through school, to meet all our financial challenges, and really that sometimes that's detrimental, because we're in such a sprint to the finish line. We quite possibly could neglect ourselves, and that's what Stress Hero is all about. The company that I've started to put on events so guys can come together in a stress-free environment and relate to other guys in a similar boat that they're in, have fantastic experiences, and then just as it naturally leads into conversations about life. And I think community is really the cornerstone, and it's something, we've got access to more communication than we've ever had before, but we're actually talking and communicating less.
Wow.
Technology has really robbed us of that, and that's what I'm promoting, is just taking time out, spending some time, doing some cool things, having a great experience together. No pressure. We're not asking anyone to stand up and talk about their life and to break it down and go deep into their emotions. It's not about that. It's about being a guy, having fun, and feeling a part of a community, and that strength alone will help them move through whatever challenges.
Do you find that people do end up going deeper, and do you ever have guys cry or break down because they're having issues with work?
I
didn't hear what you said then.
That's deep.
Well, yeah, it naturally happens. People talk and communicate. The greatest thing is that people start to remember that they're not alone in whatever challenges that they face, and that's a big thing, because to carry that kind of burden on your own, it does lead to all that manifestation Okay.
Hey, Paul, it was great having you on. We got to tidy up the segment, but Paul's one of the most well-rounded men I know, and I've got to jump into your class soon, my friend. I've got too many excuses coming on. Thank you for coming on the show. And
it's my pleasure. If anyone's interested, StressHero.com will launch officially later next month. Our events are based out of California and Los Angeles.
Okay.
And check me out on Facebook as well. My company existing, Facebook.com at the Wellbeing Manager.
We'll post it on. Stay tuned for our next segment when we talk about early indicators destroying your life, pain, and listen to your body. Thank you.